Islam and greetings. Princeanaelbey again. This is the rest of the story. In the prior video, I laid out the measure that I shared with you. And I think the last thing I spoke about was Mr. Christopher of the Universal Postal Union. And what I'm sure I left out was mortgages, car payments, rents, all of that goes under this forgiveness program. And, I already explained to you about the jails being emptied out. And, did you know that doctors and nurses who've had their licenses yanked, their licenses are being reinstated? Now, why do you think that is? Their licenses are being reinstated, which means they're going to be reinstated. Yes, their licenses are being restored. And all of this is in keeping with, and I pray that you all have been at least doing some research on some level. I remember speaking to you about that the 5G and Beyond 2020 law. And let's see, as of a few days ago, there were 58, you had 58 days for public response. And I would advise you to flood the Capitol, your representative, with calls to sign the petition too. Now the petition is about the negation of 5G setups, because all 5G is basically it is super surveillance on steroids. That's what it will ultimately be. And of course, more and more people will become afflicted with radiation poison, radiation sickness. It's inevitable. And where at one time the church was in charge of the entire world, it held sway over the entire world. And as Mr. Christopher, the judge of judges in the court of courts, he also shared that there are over 100,000 sealed indictments that have gone out. And some of your favorite people are on it. The Obamas are on it. The Clintons got those subpoenas. And you may have seen that at George Herbert Walker Bush's funeral, when they all got those envelopes and their faces turned to stone. And if you didn't see that, it's got to be on YouTube somewhere. You need to go back and look at that video. They were all at Bush's funeral, and they were handed those sealed indictments right there at the funeral, where they would all be there together. Shrewd plan. Got everybody. Got everybody. George Soros, Oprah got one, and I cannot wait to see her in handcuffs. I can't wait. However, The Pope, as far as I know, what my intelligence says is he is attempting to flee the Vatican. You see, nobody's above this. Nobody. And the people are calling for the Pope to resign, of course. And the story was because of that pedophile archbishop that he reinstated. But whatever the cover story is, they're all going. They're all going down. And for the church, I'm going to share something with you that even maybe the Masons have never heard. And that is the lamentation of Jubilo. I think it was Jubilant. One of the 3 apprentices of Hiram Abiff. And what Jubilant said was, Jubilo, oh, that my throat had been cut across, my tongue torn out, and my body buried in the shallow grave, ere I had been accessory to the death of so good a man as our Grand Master, Hiram Abiff. Now that's the lamentation of Jubilant after the apprentice helped to murder their master and bury him in a shallow grave under an acacia bush. I just thought I'd confer that degree on you because it is something that Masonic Christians or Christians in general have never heard. And that is Jubilant's lament because the master was gone. They did it. And now they lament having done that. And that is where the church is today. That is where the church is today. And so, while I and we stand for love, we don't hate anybody. It's not in us to hate anybody. And if it was, it's gone now. It's gone now because one of the primary missions is to teach love, not hate. And you see, love is a precious commodity. Love is a precious commodity. It is worth more than gold, and it weighs like silver. And it is the only Savior. It is the only thing that is going to save man and mankind. There really is no other choice. There really is no other choice. And it is in everybody's best interest to at least start learning how to love. It's an important aspect of humanity. It's an important aspect of humanity. And don't forget to share that love with your children. Because the only way that love is going to be perpetuated is through the succeeding generations who have always had it and grew up with it. That too is something that you cannot help but pass on. Because that is how you live. That's how you live your life. You live your life in love, then that is what you become. Remember, that is the 8th and 9th degree. The 8th degree is faith. If you have faith in your love, Well, faith leads to mastery. It's the 9th degree. And masters bring things to fruition. Because when you learn, you know. And when you know, you must become what you know. And when that occurs, those in your orbit, they know it. They know it because they feel it. They feel it because that is what you permeate the air with. Love. Love. And it is a power. It's a power. And it has the power to save you from virtually anything, especially if everyone is engaged in it. You all remember that. And I will talk with you all at a later time. In the meantime, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and you be good to one another. You love one another, and you protect one another. See you next time. Peace.